And it's crazy because they'll and just EQ energy. And that's why of Christ and the church. It is a representation. It is a mirror image of Christ and the church. So anytime Satan can separate them, or if he can put the spotlight on a celebrity marriage and then put the spotlight on that same marriage divorcing, or perhaps he can put the spotlight on same-sex marriage, or he can put the spotlight on anything that blasphemes against the image and the likeness of marriage. He'll do it. And the problem is a lot of people watch television and they're being raised by the media. Basically the media is teaching them how to live their lives, and so they begin to think that this is normal. No, it is not normal. It is of the devil, Baphomet. This is the god that they worship in the media, the god that they worship in the kingdom of darkness, where these things are concerned, where fame and entertainment is concerned, is Baphomet. And Baphomet is that horned god, small g god. And that god, that devil is both male and female, and we'll put the image there. But when that god is being worshipped, divorce will excel. Same-sex marriage, homosexuality, LGBTQ, and the spirit of Antichrist. And that spirit of Antichrist is a homosexual spirit. It is homosexual because in that time when the Antichrist makes his appearance on the public stage, the world will be filled with homosexual energy, LGBTQ energy. And that's why they're using the media right now to really promote this energy. If you've seen this latest series called Young, Famous, and Africans, and it's got, quite a few African artists there and some African celebrities. It's on Netflix now. And, I would suggest you don't, allow your children to watch it. In fact, don't allow your children to watch Netflix. But in it, they're introducing a very strange character, a guy who's completely gay, and he's flamboyant in his homosexuality, and they made sure that this guy has a lot of money. They poured a lot of money on him. And so he's in the Rolls Royce, and he's in, flashy clothing, and just, showing that his lifestyle is the lifestyle to be if you want to be rich. No, that's not the lifestyle you want to be. That's the lifestyle you want to be if you want to get HIV and die early. If you want to die before your time, be gay. If you want to die way before you ever expected to die, be gay. And it's crazy because they'll fund you. If you're a homosexual, they'll give you all kinds of money. But when you're dying in the hospital by yourself, none of them come to visit. They don't care. And you'll be popping AR pills by yourself. So you need to think, because the devil is a liar. He'll entice you into a lifestyle to pull you away from God and then strike you. And when he hits, he does not miss. Most of the times, he does not miss. By the time he's done with you, you're lying in a hospital bed, scrawny, skin and bones, popping pills, hoping that God will heal you. Yet God warned you and sent people to warn you a long time ago. So if you're having temptation of being gay, being lesbian, or thinking or being pulled away by people's lifestyles that you see on the screen, don't let the devil deceive you. Satan is a master of creating false narratives and false lifestyles to make it look as if the lesbian couple is happy. No, they're not. The worst lessons of betrayal and violence and killing and stealing from one another are in lesbian, homosexual couples. They will never show you on screen when they're dying, after they've been together, and then they start catching sicknesses and diseases. Because if there's anything that homosexual spirit is not, it is not faithful. So the homosexuals will come together and they can never be faithful one to another. They'll always have different homosexual lovers. It is a raging spirit. It cannot allow you to be faithful. Not even though being faithful to a homosexual lover is not even godly. But it can never allow you to do that. You have massive other lovers. We were hearing testimonies of homosexuals that had, this guy would have like hundreds of partners. Why? Because that spirit of homosexuality, it's a raging spirit. It is never satisfied, and it will never stop until you're sick and you're dying in bed. And by the time you're dead, it's finished its mission. And so what Satan wants to do is make this lifestyle popular. He wants to make the worship of Baphomet. Every time you're seeing a homosexual worship relationship on a screen, you are seeing the worship of Baphomet, the horned god that is both male and female. It has breasts, it has a penis, it has male and female organs. And then you see the shape of a serpent on it. It is wicked, it is vile, and it entices the public with glitz and glamour and the camera and flashy looking cars and nice clothes and people that look like they got swag. And just like what they're showing on the young, famous, and African Netflix Deception. It is an advertisement of deception designed to pull you away from God. And if they can succeed, within a short time, you'll be HIV positive.
And are you aware that there are some cartoons for children that are teaching them to masturbate and to have same-sex relationships and things like that? I think I've forgotten, but we'll show you the link of that cartoon that is really teaching children how to be pervert.
It is written, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. When I was getting married, I was wondering, man, now how am I going to be able to support, a family? You know what I mean? Because when you get married, you don't just marry the person you've married. You also marry, it's also their family. It's also relatives. There's a lot of other people involved. So I was wondering, how am I going to be able to do this? But I remember that the Holy Spirit led me to pray in a certain way. Instead of complaining about all these new people you'd have to support or financially, I decided to pray, Lord, please help me and give me the wisdom so that I'll be able to support people beyond my wife, and to the greater family, and even beyond that into the village. And God began to give me the wisdom for that thing. And I think, if a lot of men feel burdened because of the financial burden, but if you will pray that God gives you financial wisdom so that you can provide for others, you will be surprised how quickly God answers that prayer. And not only that, but God blesses marriages. And Satan hates to see people married because God blesses marriages financially, property, physically, spiritually, in every area. God blesses that union. So God sees to it that union is able to build together and then leave a legacy behind for their children and their children's children. Because a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. So that thing, the institution called marriage, is a very powerful institution. It is the epicenter. The structure of society is built upon the marriage. Now, if Satan can attack that and destroy the marriage, he's not just destroying a family. He's trying to destroy an entire community, an entire city, an entire nation. So he wants that tendency to make it popular to be divorced and make it seem like it's okay to be divorced. No, it's not. Your life is being destroyed. You're being cut down the middle. Your life is being annihilated. Your marriage is worth fighting for. Who cares what happened? Put it behind you and fight for it. Because if you look at what God has for the two of you in the future, you'll see why Satan is fighting it so hideously. He fights it viciously with deep pains, with deep swords that pierce the heart, and people feel so hurt by what the other person did. But please recognize that it's not only just the husband and the wife in this game.
Children.
There are others. No. I'm not even talking about that. There are people who are looking at your marriage and they hate it. They hate to see people together. There are witches whose assignment is only marriage, to destroy marriage, divorce. So take into consideration that there are witches in covens conjuring demonic spirits and sending them to your family. And if you're prayerless, if your prayer is weak, or maybe perhaps husband and wife don't pray together, or the wife doesn't pray, or some weakness that the enemy locates, he'll find an entrance into that house. As soon as he gets that entrance, you guys will be fighting over a toothpick. You'll divorce over toothpaste. Why? Things can get so escalated, and if you investigate what it is, it's a rather small thing, or it's something that can be forgiven, and a wound that can be healed. Okay, so people can move on. So just, if people can forgive one another, they can stay in marriage. If they cannot forgive, they cannot stay in marriage. So it's important to get into marriage realizing that this is a marathon of forgiveness. It's a marathon. It's not a quick race. It's a marathon. You are in it for the long haul. And Jesus said, he that marries someone who is divorced is committing adultery. So if you marry, and you separate, don't ever get married again, because that's adultery as far as the Bible is concerned. It's a tough law. It's better you don't get married, because if you can't live to that standard, then you're on your way to hell. And Satan sends many people to hell through marriages, through divorces. You marry somebody who you did not marry at first, somebody who divorced from somebody else, or you leave your wife to go marry somebody else. That is adultery. And people think they can just, get away with it. No way. The word of God does not change. Guys, look, there are pastors who have left their wives and have married some other a member of the congregation. They're well on their way to hell. And if people in the congregation follow after that, meanwhile, the woman who stole the husband went to a shrine. If you see the whole story, you'll cry. They go to shrines. They go to a witch to send evil spirits to separate the husband from the wife.
And the
All
children.
right? Yeah, and the whole family. To decimate, with divorce comes destruction, annihilation of the family, annihilation of property, and the property, the ownership, the legacy, everything is destroyed. The heritage, the name, everything is destroyed and discombobulated. An entire destiny is diverted, completely diverted because of this destruction. So by the time this woman who's planning and strategizing to get this man away from the marriage because she wants money, she's jealous of the wife. And women, sorry to say, can be very vindictive. By the time one woman comes to another woman saying, your husband is a very nice man, or I admire your marriage, she's not saying I admire your marriage. She's saying I want your husband. You know what I mean? You have to listen when people are telling you things. I tell my wife all the time, when somebody tells you something, or when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, because they're not joking. They're not playing games with you. They don't just admire your man. They want your man. It's not that she wants a man like your husband. She wants your husband. So they'll go to great lengths. Man, Africa is dangerous. Not just Africa, though, the world. They'll light up a candle on you and send demonic spirits to go and destroy that marriage. And if you don't know how to pray and exclude demonic activity from your house, you're easy prey. You're a sitting duck. You're like somebody who sleeps with his windows and gates and doors wide open. Prayerlessness is exposure. Prayerlessness is nakedness. Prayerlessness is defenselessness. It's uselessness. It's just being wide open for anybody to hit. You're just screaming, saying, hit me, shoot me. Meanwhile, life is a battle. The whole time we are here in the earth, we're at war. Every moment of every second of every day, we are at war. This life is not a vacation. It is a continuous warfare. It is brutal. It is nasty. It can be disgusting. It can be repulsive. It can be oppressive. And Satan's aim is to utilize witchcraft, envy, jealousy, to send demonic spirits into marriages, to break them up, so that he can come into the situation and create bondage. And with divorce comes all kinds of bondage, all kinds of hatred. Now the two hate each other. How many divorced couples are still doing ministry and hate one another? They hate each other. One has gone this way in this ministry, the other one has gone the other way, and each of them are running their own ministries, and they hate each other. They cannot look each other in the eye and talk. So what kind of ministry is that? And what kind of ministry are they promoting? And what kind of impartation is being passed into the congregation? So there's a lot of spiritual things that are going on that deal with marriage. Where there's marriage, potential for great wealth. Where there's marriage, there's potential for great influence of another generation rising up to crush the devil's head. So Satan wants to see to it that he can destroy marriage by pulling one man aside. You know, Satan, man, these people, they'll send demons into the man to make him go off and commit adultery. They'll send demons into the woman to go off and start acting in a completely different way. So when you see your spouse act, if anything is abnormal in the home, you know, be zealous, be careful, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, like a lion,
It comes like a lion.
comes like a lion, roaring like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. So it means that he's looking for an opportunity to infiltrate your home. So you stay prayed up every day, just knowing there is a strategy against your life. Stop living defensively.
Yeah.